did Dell approach the migration to Windows 7?
We really had two choices. We could approach this like any other migration, or we could look at it to get our people onto the latest OS with better productivity, better manageability, and better security features. And look at transforming our application environment. We chose the latter approach.
What do you mean transform your app environment?
Windows 7 migration is a great trigger for you to control your application library, to really see how many apps you have, to understand how many redundancies you have in the environment, how many software licenses we're paying for that we're not using, how many people that we have that have admin privileges. Gaining control over your application library really readies the organization for the future.
So it's kind of like getting ready for the future now.
Exactly. Walk with me. Dell was an early adopter. Currently, 70% of the employees are on Windows 7 today. Our application environment is down to 2,900 apps from 10,000. That's a 66% reduction.
That must have a huge impact on IT.
Absolutely, but it also had a huge business impact. We no longer spend 20 minutes of a 30-minute meeting talking about whose sales data is correct.
But how did you do it?
We should talk to Chris Mino. He helped make it all happen. I've got a quick appointment. You two should talk. I'll check back in.
So how'd you do it? How'd you move this huge company over to Windows 7?
With a lot of planning. Typically, one of the biggest pain points that you're going to have when you're going through this type of a process is app compat. What we found is actually going through an app rationalization process of actually identifying the applications, identifying application owners, and then rationalizing that down to a manageable list. It's going to take a lot of the sting out of the migration.
Sounds challenging.
Very challenging. What we found were the two biggest things were actually tying together those redundant applications and then actually just finding a complete list of every application. So common sense would tell you that if you had software inventory, you already had this information. But anyone that's looked at a software inventory report would know that's not necessarily the case. Once you've actually categorized those applications, your process becomes a lot more manageable. You could even take it a step further by leveraging some of the functionality that's built into Windows 7, such as the App Locker functionality. App Locker allows you to allow or deny specific applications in your environment.
So what was the end result? Was it worth it?
You know, let's get Jefferson Rayleigh involved here. So Jefferson, this gentleman was asking, was it all worth it?
As Steve probably told you, Dell reduced our internal application library from over 10,000 applications to under 2,800. That's a 66% reduction, and we're helping customers achieve the same results.
By leveraging some of those manageability features that are built into Windows 7, such as DISM, allows you to quickly and easily provision your images for patches, for drivers, for features. In essence, taking what used to be an hour-long process to a couple of minutes.
Plus, we have global application factories in the US, in China, and India. We're currently helping customers test and remediate tens of thousands of applications for Windows 7.
And don't forget about your web-based applications. We have 74,000 clients globally inside of Dell, and we're picking up about 1,000 a week. And keep in mind, we're also doing this with a zero IT touch and a self-support model.
Dell Optimized Deployment does the same thing for our customers. Whether you're talking about deploying over the wire using tools like SCCM and the Dell KACE K2000 box, or off the wire using Dell Automated Deployment and MDT. We can even automate deployment for remote users who never connect to the LAN.
And we also have a lot of Dell services that we use internally, things such as eSmart, Dell Optimized Deployment, KACE.
We can permanently reduce the cost to deploy an operating system or PC in your environment for an average of about 55%. Dell Services has the tools and people to get you there. We can help you figure out a strategy to get control over your applications and automate the PC and operating system deployment.
So, what do you think? Is it time? Time for your company to migrate?
Are you ready for the benefits of Windows 7?
Are you ready to do more?